I need to get some lighting control here in my little office in my house. And I just have straight up fluorescence just coming in from random angles.
Oh,
you look great, Rob.
Well, it's all smoke and mirrors, as you know. It's all production. It's visual auto-tune.
That's right. That's why I have my beard. It's contour for men.
It is contour for men. There's no doubt. I like the beard.
Thank you. I grew it out for a role and I kept it. I was like, I can do that.
What was the beard? I like beard roles. What was your beard role?
I was doing a Broadway show called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. And I needed to play a really kind of disheveled Russian aristocrat and played the accordion, grew out the beard, and just never looked back. I just kept it.
Okay, it's so funny. I just played a Russians. By the way, here's what I've learned about playing Russians.
Please.
Is that there's a school of thought that we, meaning non-Russians, should never ever attempt a Russian accent. And then there are others like, no, it's no different than any accent. But like I was all ready to do, Mr.
Yes.
No,
Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Yes, and they say everybody comes off like a Bond villain. So it's like
exactly.
when you So Chernobyl, one of my favorite miniseries. Nobody's doing a Russian accent in Chernobyl.
That's true.
No, they're not. And in fact, they're all British. In a way,
that's very, very true. I think that accents can be distracting in a strange way. Like sometimes you can, in the service of being the most accurate, it can actually, in some ways, if you're not from there, draw people away from the emotion of it. So, I did not. None of us in the show did Russian accents. We just kind of did it, King's English.
It's one of the great titles of a piece ever. That title makes me
Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll go see that.
Yeah, Dave Malloy, great, brilliant composer. He's somebody who just finds interesting things to write about. And he wrote this piece about a very specific 70 pages from War and Peace, and not before, not after. Just there's a 70-page part of War and Peace that he felt was particularly juicy when a lot of the characters go through a lot of kind of existential crises, and he turned it into an in-the-round folk, rock, pop kind of opera. There's no spoken word. It's sung all the way through. Every cast member played their own instruments. I played piano and accordion. And we brought this weird circus of a show to Broadway. And it was, pre-COVID. So there was a lot of kind of risk-taking still happening on Broadway at that time. And it just was an amazing piece. We did it for a year, and I had the most incredible time and made lifelong friends.
A year is a long time.
It's a lot of shows, yeah. And I just did Sweeney Todd for a year on Broadway, and that was even harder than Great Comet because, of course, the role is just 10 times meatier, and it's also an angry role. Anytime you do a role that's just so grief-stricken and angry on a molecular level, even though you wash it off. I'm not a method actor by any stretch. But you do it 300 times and the cells in your body start to take it home a little bit. And I'm not that guy. I'm not a Sweeney Todd personality at all. And so to have that role to sink into and to just some days I'd walk home from the theater. I'd walk, 45 blocks just to get it out of my system. And, it was a little bit of emotional detox after that one for sure.
Did you, what I've always liked about, I've never done a run that long, but when I've done theater, what I've loved about it is that your whole day has a purpose, a specific purpose, and everything leads to that. No matter how important anything that comes up in the day is.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, it's all about curtain.
Absolutely. I actually love structure. I loved it in school. There's something for me that's very calming to my ADD brain about having a place to go, a place to punch in, an objective. And then the other great thing about theater is that then you get validation for that objective at the end of it. And you get to know that you did the good job, And so, I don't need a whole lot of therapy when I'm doing a Broadway show because I'm getting kind of everything that I need from that structure. Because otherwise in the music business, it's so all over the map. Every day is a
Right.
different, surprise, you're going to Germany, or surprise, you've got a recording session. And that's fun, but there is something very calming for my brain about the obligation, the responsibility of everything revolves around an audience that needs to hear and see this for those 3 hours every night. And whatever's going on outside those stage doors, there is like this, divine purpose to when you walk through stage door. That's this is more important now. This is more important because there's nothing to hide behind in theater. If you don't hold it at that regard, you're going to go out there and feel shitty and feel like you didn't bring your best. And there is nothing worse than that feeling. So yeah, I lived and breathed that show for a whole year, and it was the greatest honor of my life to do it. It's one of one show for me, but it was the hardest I've ever worked in my life for sure.
Sweeney.
Talking
about Sweeney. And Sondheim, right? It's a Sondheim show.
Stephen Sondheim, yeah, it's one of his great masterpieces. I first heard it, I saw a concert of it when I was like 14 years old and just was totally swept away by the music, and never thought in a million years it would come around in a way that I'd be at the right age and the right place in my life to play that role. It's just, I mean, when a role like that, is in front of you, it's like catching a shooting star. I couldn't believe that everything fell into place. And I got to know Sondheim before he passed away, and I was able to get his green light and his approval to play the role before he passed. And he died one day before our first music rehearsal. So we had to kind of go from feeling like we were going to be able to be guided by the master here to him suddenly becoming the same as a Shakespeare or a Gershwin, or one of the great. Now we have the great canon of his work, and now we have to go from knowing he'll be able to guide us in the room to then flipping to how are we going to interpret in a way that we feel would honor him. And it was a different mentality, but in a way, I think even more powerful. I think to know that we then had that responsibility and felt as the first Broadway show of his work to open after he passed, we felt a responsibility to make it just such a tribute to celebrating him. We had all age audiences in there, and it was very, very cool. It was the best time.
Did you so you got to meet him?
Yes, I did. Yeah. When I was doing Great Comet, I got a letter to Stage Door. I had done a musical theater album called Stages, and I did a PBS special for that album. And I waxed poetic about him on stage, saying just what an influence he'd been since I was 9 years old. And then I went into a song of his called Finishing the Hat from Sunday in the Park with George. Intimidating. I had met him once before briefly. I did a Hollywood Bowl concert for him, but just very briefly, very intimidated. Didn't really think I was on his radar. And I got a letter to Stage Door through a mutual friend of ours named Jason Egan. And I have the letter. In fact, do you want to wait 1 second?
Yeah, I'll wait.
It's actually right behind me here.
The framed letter. As
I walk away in my socks.
That's amazing.
So this is the letter. And God. I'll read it to you. It says from the office of Stephen Sondheim at the top. Amazing. December 14th, 2016. Dear Josh, I saw your Stages concert last night, and I want to thank you for the blush-making compliments and even more for the way you sang the songs. Not only is your voice a joy, but you really know how to phrase and convey a lyric. And while I'm at it, welcome to Broadway. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Stephen Joshua Sondheim. In parentheses, I was called Josh when I was 10.
That is
crazy.
That is insane.
Like, I cried. I'm glad I got it after the show was done, because I just sat in my dressing room and, there's just a couple of people in my life that are the reason why I do what I do. And he's one of them. And so to have that was so, so special. And then I got invited to have, coffee with him and dinner with him. And we became like pen pals. And it was, when he passed away, so many actors and friends came out and said, I used to write letters with him. And I thought I was like one of the only ones. Hundreds. He was just the most.
Really?
Oh my God. He wrote letters constantly and just had an old typewriter, and he told me which typewriter to get. And, it was something he did for sport. It was a matching of witticisms, and he would want to talk about politics and art and something he read in the New York Times. And, when you'd get a letter from him, you really wanted to up your IQ game when you wrote back. You wanted to make sure you said something, as smart or, is something that you think would tickle his intellect. And so it was it was an amazing thing leading up to doing the role because it all kind of happened serendipitously. One of my favorite books is called The Groucho Letters. I don't know if you're a fan of Groucho Marx,
Of course.
but yeah, he's one of my heroes as well. And he has a book called The Groucho Letters because he was also a big letter writer. And the estate, when they were asked if they could release all of his letters, said it was in his will that if these letters ever came out, they had to be published along with the letters back to him, because he felt like not only was he the wittiest writer alive, but he also inspired wit in others when they wrote back to him because they felt like they needed to match him. So all of these letters are back and forth between the Warner Brothers and Charlie Chaplin, and and it's incredible to see them trying to spar with him. It's a lost art form that Sondheim really relished in. It was very cool to see.
Well, it's funny because when you showed it to me, I said, "Is that a telegram?" It's typed.
No, it's not a telegram. It's just an old typewriter.
It's an old typewriter.
Yeah. He just typed it out with ink, and signed it at the bottom. Yeah, he had an old typewriter that he's doing on.
An Underwood. I had an Underwood in typing class. I remember.
Yeah. He had a Singer, I think it was, Singer typewriter.
That's
Fittingly.
Insane. But I love that he talked about your ability to phrase lyrics. I mean, that
was everything.
That's everything. The one. That's the one, isn't it? From him, isn't it?
For you, that would be like getting a letter from Shakespeare, right? I mean, like that's
right. Yes.
You are a student of Shakespeare the way I've been for Sondheim, and it's all about the turn. It's all about the rhythm and how you express, and not undercooking it, not overcooking it, just finding the truth in these lines that people know so well. And that is even more challenging than speaking a new script, singing a new song, finding a way to make something your own in a way that both honors why it was so special to begin with and honors it by also finding your truth in it.
Yeah.
That's a tightrope that is very tricky. And you never want the person who wrote it to feel like you didn't quite, you fell off the rope. So no, that meant the world to me. It really did.
It's funny when you witness it as an audience, something you know so well, and somebody all of a sudden makes you see it or feel it in a way that never occurred to you. It's just, that's why you go to the theater. And
totally.
I saw whether it's like Death of a Salesman, or I saw the revival of, it's been a few years now, of Company.
Sure. Oh yeah, I saw that too. It's fantastic.
I saw it in London before it came to Broadway.
Same. Yeah, same.
Right, and it was. Wait, were we there on the same night and took a picture back?
Yes, we were.
I think we were. We were. We were.
This is so LA. Oh my God. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. I remember seeing the cast and going, "Oh, hey, Rob." Yeah.
We were
there.
That
was a great night. Hell of a show.
And I still have the picture somewhere. But isn't it true? I mean, I just remember, Send in the Clowns. We've all heard it 1,000. It's one of the greats.
Yes.
And I mean, the fact that it was gender swapped also made a big difference. But
it was so great. It was so inventive. Nothing felt forced, by the way. They just found a different truth in it, and I loved it. I was so happy that people connected with it, and Sondheim loved it. He was so happy with it. And so, yeah, very cool. That's so fun.
We usually run into each other at the Dodgers. How are we feeling about Dodgers? Right. We're happy campers, aren't we?
We're happy. I mean, I don't know when this is airing, but as of today, we've had a couple of messy games against the Rockies, but we're okay. We're doing great. I mean, I'm so excited to see the legs of this particular team this season. We have so much talent. It's ridiculous. It's just a matter of, you can't get too excited too early. It's the beautiful thing about baseball is that any team can have a run, right? Any team can have a stretch of games where they feel like they're on top of the world or at the bottom of the world. And it's about how you communicate and how you connect through the dog days and through the entirety of it, and then at the end, how scrappy can you get when it's just fisticuffs in the mud, and it's just fascinating to see the arc And I love watching players actually in a slump. As a singer, I don't know if you feel this way as an artist and actor yourself, but I love. I feel like there's so much connection between art and sport and psychology of art and sport. And acting can be very solitary, singing can be very solitary, and I think stepping up to bat is you are all alone in your neuroses. Going to the mound, you are all alone out there, and there is something about watching an athlete refine their mechanism and find their rhythm and figure out whether they need to get more complicated or more simple about it.
That's right.
And I find that to be so therapeutic and educational to watch that happen.
We both love process. So
we love process. We
love process. And it's not a fair example because he's a freak, but I was at Dodger Stadium last week, before they went on the road, and watching Shohei pitch.
Yeah.
And he, for him, got into trouble. That means he might have put somebody on base or two. But like all of a sudden he's cruising. All of a sudden he's clearly lost command. And he walks off the mound, walks around, and comes back. And his fix is, I'm going to throw literally 100 miles an hour. Not literally 100.
Yeah.
Right down the gut.
Yep.
And just be like, 4 consecutive. I've watched baseball my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen 4 consecutive 100-mile-an-hour plus
just
pitches in my life.
Over and over and over.
It's so great. It was great. By the way, it was so funny.
That's his way, I guess, of saying, okay, well, if I can do that, let's see if I can find the edges, and let's see if I can go to the well and find get the others to click as well. I love seeing how they choose pitches together. I think that's an incredible thing. But you're right. Shohei is, he's a freak, and it's I feel lucky to be alive in a time where we can watch his athleticism and his artistry out there, which is just such a special moment in history. I can't wait to tell my kids and grandkids about. But yeah, it's amazing to see the psychology. And look, we've been at games together when we were kind of like watching Gavin Lux find his swing again,
Yes.
and watching Chris Taylor try to, when he got that double after how many games when he couldn't do it,
Yeah.
I almost root for that more than the guys who you just know are on fire. And if they do get someone on base or they do strike out, that's not the norm. That's the outlier. I'm always for the guys that are not that are really trying to figure out how to connect again while every demon in their head is saying, you can't do much more of this, or it's going to be curtains.
And everybody's watching, and everybody knows.
Watching,
everybody's watching, chanting. Can you imagine being the Met as we speak? The Mets have lost 11 straight.
I know. That's going to be. I'm not. I'm Dodgers true, but I will be interested to see how the Mets, how the team responds to this. And Soto comes back, and they're able to get through it. I mean, I'm fascinated by it. I love to learn about the game that way. I will never turn down a ticket to a game anywhere. I love being at a ballpark. But it's chaos out there. I mean, they call it the show for a reason. I did the anthem. You were there, I think, the last 2 opening days. And
that's right.
You can be calm about singing it in your shower and singing it. But all of a sudden, when you're down there and you're at home plate, a song that should be very simple becomes very complicated in your head because there is so much chaos around you. And I can't even imagine having to play the game in that chaos. It's an amazing thing to see. I mean, that's a zone that I think anybody can learn from.
You were great. You were so great. It was such a zoo. I think I barely was able to say hi because
I know
it's such a freak show. You've got Sandy Koufax over here. You've got Magic Johnson. You got Billie Jean King. You've got Jason Bateman. You've got Ice Cube. You've got you. It's really, really. It's not opening day in Toronto. Yep. It's like LA throws it down.
Yes.
Is it always as echoey when you're singing in a stadium as it is there?
I always have ear monitors.
So, and that's all you're hearing is yourself.
I wind up. Yeah, it would be masochistic as a singer to decide to go out there just au naturel, because if I weren't to have them, I'd have to really focus on the sound in front of me and not the sound coming back at me 2 seconds later. And
Yes.
that's, as a singer, you're so interested in, like, you monitor yourself. Am I on pitch? Is it right? Am I sounding good? And so you're naturally inclined to listen a little bit to bounce back, and if you don't have it, it really is like 2 seconds. It's very, very,
it's insane.
Insane. Yeah. So
I've got
to mix.
How come we only notice it? I mean, is it the same in everywhere? If you're like playing the Hollywood Bowl, is that a thing that it always is 2 seconds?
No, I think it's just the stadium is so huge. And I think because the speakers are positioned in a certain place that really travel, and then they hit the audience and then they bounce back, there's a lot of reverberation out there. Just naturally, the way stadiums are built they're not meant for, music. They're meant for the insanity in the game. And that's what makes the game sound so great. That echo, that crack of the bat, the way the announcer sounds when that's all that's the sound of the game. But
yeah,
if you have to do a concert in a place, I've never done a concert in a stadium, but if you're playing an arena or someplace, the Hollywood Bowl, you gotta have a great engineer to kind of balance that out and make sure that it sounds good for the audience. For me, with the ears, it's a revelation for me, because no matter where I'm playing, I get a really crystal clear, fairly echo-free mix in my ears. And I can also talk, like, every moment until I was going out to home plate to sing, I was just chatting with Dieter, who was accompanying me on the organ. And we were just talking about the day, and I was kind of like, hey, can you give me that F again? Like, hey, can you just, like, literally right until he announced me, like, hey, give me that opening note again. Would you mind? How you doing up there? What's the weather like? So, you're in your own little world, and it kind of keeps you a bit sane that you're in that little bubble of sound when you have to go out there and everything else out there is chaos. But then you turn to your left and see Shohei, and it's just, it's all over.
It's insane. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts of the anthem?
Do's and don'ts of the anthem.
Don't fuck it up would be number one.
Well, don't fuck it up is a big one. It's a hard task, because
that's why I'm asking. It's not because it's a real thing.
Performers, we all want to stand out. But when you're doing the anthem, you got two options. You're either going to do it well and everybody's just ready for the game, right? They say, okay, great job. Anyway, time for the game. Or you make the most minor of mistakes and you live in infamy. So, there is no such thing as just, unless you're Whitney, it's just a glorious thing that everybody will remember for the end of time. You have a very specific job to do. It's to honor our country, to do the best job you can. And then it's time for the thing everybody's there for. And so I think that for me, I chose to do it simply. I chose to do it with the organ. I chose to just do it that way, because I found that for things that just are so very much not about me, I try not to overcomplicate it. I want to do the best I can. I want to sing the crap out of it and hopefully make that moment, pleasing, and what it's supposed to be. Oh, the one thing I do have to think about, though, out there is timing it to the Jets. This is something
what I was going to say.
This is something that audiences sometimes don't know is happening.
Yes. By the way, this is why we do this show, guys. People are always like, well, why do you have a podcast? This is why. Where else are you going to get, how do you time your national anthem to the Jets? How do we do it? That's
right. So there's two things that happens. There's a flyover. It's very important. So that morning, I go up to the organ where Dieter Rule, who's one of the great organists in all of sports, and he's a total Dodgers and sports legend. He does the Kings as well. So we'll go up there. We'll pick a key. He'll play along. We'll do it once together to find our rhythm. And then they bring in somebody from the Air Force. He's in his full uniform, everything. He's got a notepad. Very intimidating. It's nice to meet you, sir. Thank you for your service. Comes over and he goes, all right, ready. And Dieter again, and all of a sudden, like, my heart's racing because I'm doing it.
My heart's racing now. Now
I'm doing it for one of our incredible servicemen, but he's timing out. He's writing down timing markers for specific words in the song. Say, can you see? Okay, that was 15 seconds to see. Okay. The dawn's early light. Okay, 28 seconds to light. And he's timing certain markers to relay to the people that are flying at 1,000 miles an hour or whatever it is. And and so that's his job. to kind of get a rough sense of what my timing of the song is to give to them. Then my job is watch. While you're singing, watch the skies. And when you get to free of the free, where are they? Are they on the horizon? You know, am I going to do a long free or am I going to do a short free? Because you want that and the home of the to be when they come over. So I know that once I get to that point in the song, I'm watching for airplanes. And
you're watching. So free is the airplane.
Free is the moment for me. I know they're doing their communication. Hopefully you've hit it the way we did it at rehearsal.
Right. Yes.
But as the guy on the field, for them to basically say, we think we have the timing right, but when you're down there, just hold it out until they come over the stadium. And because you want to hold it out, and you want that home of the brave to be that roar of the jet. That's the money.
Money. It's my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite. And because I've been lucky enough to be at so many opening days,
of course.
And I record every one on my phone. Amazing. And I have it down to a science. And you're right. It's on you singing. Maybe a stadium pan, maybe.
Maybe.
But up to the sky on free.
Yeah.
And then you've got to stick the pan.
Yep.
Where they fly right over and hold on the Dodger logo at the top of the stadium.
That's totally. Yep.
And they fly over it. It's so fun.
It's so fun. And if you're the one singing it, there's no greater feeling of relief and excitement than when you're finally at the end. You've done it. It's done. It's gone all right. And then you get to just celebrate being at home plate while jets are over you, fireworks are going, and you got Shohei and Mookie standing to your left. You take that 5-second moment of relief while you're still on the field and all that's going on. And those are the best moments of my life. Those are when I get to, combine my fandom for the team and for the stadium I've been going to since I was 5 and the job I get to do, for a living. It's there's nothing like it.
Do you have a record? Do the Dodgers have what's your win-loss record when you sing the anthem? Do you have one?
I have no losses so far. So
amazing.
No, I've only done it twice now. I've done the 2 opening days, and we won both games, and we won the World Series both seasons. So, I've got a 2-for-2 win, and I've got a 2-for-2 championship singing opening day. I was in Dublin this year for opening day on my tour, so I wasn't able to make it for this opening day. But I've told the superstition gods that as long as I sing at some point during the season, I will be okay. Not to put it all on me, but
no, that's a real thing.
It's important. It is important.
The Lakers in the Showtime era had Jeffrey Osborne.
Oh, Jeffrey Osborne's a legend. Of course, he's their guy. Absolutely.
I mean, if Jeffrey Osborne came out, we were winning. And of course, what's the famous one for the Philadelphia Flyers?
Is there somebody for that too? Well, and Paisley, our friend Brad Paisley,
yes,
who's got this. I mean, this stuff, by the way, the universe doesn't mess around. Kate Smith, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. For them. There is a mysticism to baseball that always permeates around all the stuff that's happening on Earth. There is superstition, there is lore, and these things. It's why when people say you can't not love baseball, because there's a romanticism to the stories that develop. I mean, everything from like the 2 Max Muncies that are playing at the moment, that were both, I think, have the same birthday and were both signed to the A's, different years. I mean, like, very strange shit. Paisley singing the anthem, and every time he sings, they go way extra innings.
Yes.
Is a crazy thing. And that's not just happened once or twice. That's happened like 4 times. So, it's real. We bow to the baseball gods and hope they're kind.
I think the players, when they see Paisley, they're like, "Oh my God, I am not meeting anybody for dinner tonight."
I went to the game. I just as a fan, I went to the game after the one he sang. I forgot which game of the series it was, and it was the game after. And I turned to my friends and we were just like, "This is going to be a tired game. This is the post Paisley game is a recovery game. Is PPG."
Post Paisley game. Tell me about the new album, Cinematic. Coming out May 8th. New album. Look out.
Yeah, it's been such a joy to record this album. I was in a real interpretive headspace after doing Broadway, and And I realized that my connection to film music and film songs actually ran all the way back to my first days with David Foster and, singing songs for films or reinterpreting, finding lyrics from melodies that we loved from films. We always recorded things from film music because those songs are so emotional and so dramatic, and my voice was felt like it had that gravitas, and so it was a natural fit. I just had never done an album fully honoring that genre of music and fully honoring those songs. So I got with my friend Greg Wells, who is just a brilliant producer who's got classical chops and just finished doing all the music for the Wicked movie. So he was in that world. And I said, I've got this idea. There's some songs I think I might want to sing. I may want to do a film music album. And he went, this is an album I've wanted to make forever. And he gave his favorites and I gave my favorites. And we talked about arrangers. And, you can pull your hair out about what to do next for a very long time. This is probably the same with acting.
It is.
When a chapter closes of something that was very special to you, there's a time period of what the fuck now? Like how do I keep growing? How do I stay scared? How do I, trying to make things right on paper that maybe aren't right in your soul? So when an idea starts to happen very quickly and organically, like that wave starts to develop where people go yes and over and over and over again, you got to write it. And all the yes ands for me were about this project. And I got asked by Francis Ford Coppola to sing the Godfather theme for his AFI tribute. That was the first nucleus of singing that theme made me say, oh, maybe there's more of this I should be doing. I did a residency in Vegas at the Coliseum, and Adele had just been there. So we wanted to do kind of a tip of our hat to honor her. And so I ended the night with Skyfall, her song from James Bond. Again, didn't know I was doing this album. And just went, oh, that felt really good. So we had two. And then we just started getting arrangements that just felt so incredible. We went to London with a full symphony and recorded these in the room. And they're some of my favorite songs that I've ever recorded. I can't wait to sing them forever, and I hope people enjoy it.
What's your favorite Bond song? Skyfall, by the way, I think is up there. I think it's up there. I think it's
Skyfall.
Yeah, I think it's one of the top ones.
We had our pick of the litter, and that's the one we chose. I mean, I think that's really damn near up at the very top.
I know. I agree.
I love Diamonds Are Forever. That is the snare drum that was used for Diamonds Are Forever was used on Skyfall. That's the old snare that we got from that. But Goldfinger is incredible. There's so many incredible ones. Some of the new ones have been great. Though Skyfall's great.
I mean, it's so funny when you go, wait, Carol Bayer Sager wrote a James Bond theme? You're like, yes.
I know. There's nothing she can't do, I'll tell you.
Nothing, right?
Yeah. My favorite song on the album, though, is I got to do a duet with my 80-year-old dad playing trumpet. That was the highlight for me. We did Moon River, and
I love Moon River. Is great.
He hadn't played in 50 years, and I said to my mom, "Do you think he could warm up and play?" We had a spot in the song for a trumpet solo, and I said, "If he really works on the lip and works every day, do you think he could pull this off?" And he rehearsed, and we got Sunset Sound, which was Louis Armstrong's favorite studio here in Los Angeles. I'm sure you've been. We got Louis' stool that he used to sit on, and I said, "Dad, here's the room, and here's the mic," and boy, he played so beautifully. So that's probably not only my favorite collaboration on the album, but favorite probably collaboration, one of one forever.
Oh, that is and to have it. Now, it wasn't just like a live thing. Like exactly. It's there, it's recorded, it's forever.
Exactly. Now it was very, very special. So
Moon River is great.
I wasn't quite expecting with this album. I knew I was going to do a bunch of songs people knew, and I was going to try and sing them to the best of my ability with great arrangements. But it was surprising to me just how personal the album became, and so it's been fun.
I love that. It's got me thinking about. I love making lists of like I was thinking of last night as I was going to bed. Everybody does it, but like greatest bands ever, and then like two or three or everybody knows, but then after that it gets tricky, and it's like, well, is it about sales? Is it about catalog? Is it about how great they were live? Because you didn't want to go. I mean, you know what I mean? Is it so?
And then it becomes very personal. It becomes it goes from being objective to subjective, and listing out songs you may want to sing in a category of music that everybody has a different favorite can be actually really paralyzing. It's super hard to get a project like this going because there are so many opinions and there are so many eras and the choice is unlimited. We were talking about the structure of Broadway. Having an unlimited choice of songs sometimes can be enough to make you say, maybe not for me. There's too many. I don't want to piss too many people off. I don't want to pick the wrong music. But the right stories start to come to the top. You get a long list, then you get a short list. And then the way you feel when you sing it becomes the shortest list. And at the end of the day, you can't fake how it feels coming out of your mouth. There are songs that on paper were such a sure thing. And then interpretively, it was karaoke and not from the heart, And so you realize sometimes just because you can sing something really great doesn't mean there's, an honesty there or a why. There's no reason for it. And I think audiences sometimes, even if they don't know on paper, the difference, they can feel the difference of if there wasn't a good reason for the why or not.
Well, that's not to be the old man yelling at the clouds, but that's my issue with hits today. I don't feel any connection, and it's not, and it's not because I'm my age and I grew up with this, that, and the other, and it
might be, Rob. I'll tell you.
Is it?
I feel the same way, and I'm yelling at the clouds too, and I'm saying it's not my age, damn it, it's just the way. And then I see the audience at Coachella, and I watch that stream, and I go, they are in it. They are so connected, and they are going to carry this moment in front of Sabrina or Bieber, whoever's out there. They're going to carry that into their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And that's going to be, and whatever comes out then, they're going to go, yeah, but back when I was there at Bieber and he brought Eilish up on stage, and that was my child. I think that there's a certain part that is absolutely correct. The technology and the ease with which we can fool people has made songs, I think, less heartfelt, a little more cynical, or a lot more cynical. The formula has gotten more formulaic because we can. Back in the day, you had to, I listened to old Motown. To me, if I want to recharge my soul, I'll listen to, Otis Redding, and I'll listen to all that stuff. And I'll listen to when they had to just go into one room and if somebody messed up the take, they had to do the whole thing over. And it wasn't perfect, but it was great. And you could hear the nuance in it. Yeah, now everything is programmed within an inch of its life. And so I agree that to me, it's not the same. But I didn't grow up with a phone in my hand. There's a whole group of people that don't know anything different than what they were raised with and what they had. And that's every generation. And so I'm with you. By the way, I'm not disagreeing. I'm totally with you. I think it's not the same. It's not the same. But, I watch the tears in the eyes of those 100,000 kids and I go, okay, well, to them it is,
Which raises the question, how much of it is actually the music and how much of it is the experience?
Well, live performance, I think, is one of the things I love about seeing, even if I'm not a huge fan of the artist, but when I see people of all ages congregating in one place and feeling that connectivity. And when I feel it when I'm on stage and I look out at thousands of people congregating in one place, I'm reminded, and especially, this is a period of time where I think that it is the most potent and the most important because, we're coming out of a pandemic where we were all forced to just be isolated for a long time. And we've gone through kind of one micro trauma after another. We had a pandemic into a nation more divided than it has ever been in my lifetime or my parents' lifetime, into global conflict constantly. The doom scroll of seeing things no human being should have to endure seeing day after day after day. We're exhausted. Our souls are completely depleted. And, you can AI a hit song. You can Photoshop a picture. You can't duplicate the feeling of sharing art with other people. And literally and figuratively all singing the same song together at a time when everything is yelling at us to be as far apart as possible is the medicine, whether it's Coachella or whether it's Disney Hall. it couldn't be more important than right now. And so, I agree that sharing reminds us of our humanity when we need it the most.
Josh, that's a mic drop. One of the things I've learned about mic drops is it can't be a mic drop if you keep picking the microphone back up. So
So there you go.
You drop the mic and I'm not picking it up. Yes. And
there you go.
It's an ears drop.
Eardrop.
Eardrop. The new album's out May 8th, Cinematic. I will be seeing you at the next Dodger homestand.
Yes, sir.
For sure. And we should attach our Take Me Out to the Ball Game to this.
I was going to say, one thing we didn't mention on the pod is that we actually have a great Take Me Out to the Ball game that went fairly viral, and it was so fun to sing that with you.
I think that was kind of fun. I was surprised that I'm just not surprised that you were great, but like I had kind of...
You sounded great, Rob. You sounded really good.
Did I hold my own with you? I think I did.
You held your own. You've got a beautiful vibrato. You've got the voice of an angel, and you actually also kind of picked a harmony. Like, that's musicality that you can't teach. Like, you really nailed it, I got to say.
It was so fun. Let's recreate it. Let's. Oh, I'll leave you with this. And here I am. Yeah. I'm breaking my own rule. I'm picking the mic back up. So, for some reason, Dieter didn't do this. Dieter Rule at the first 18-inning game I went to, the one that it ended in the home run. I guess that was the against the Boston Red Sox. So the next one, we did Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 14th inning. So it's 7 innings and 70. We sang it twice. I've never heard of it before.
Me neither.
I didn't know it was a thing.
They feel like they need a second stretch. I mean, I don't blame them. But
isn't that sick?
That's awesome. I love that. I love that tradition because it's not going to happen a lot.
No. They were like, please rise in honor of for a second. Take me out to the. We did it again. It was
Lord
insane.
knows by the 14th inning, our blood sugar desperately needs more peanuts and Cracker Jacks. So I think it's important that we have that. So Dieter, if you're listening, let's keep that going.
All right. See you at the stadium, brother.
Rob, it's been a pleasure. Really honored to talk to you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, man.